that's a very weird-looking lizard. Stay with us to the end, because it's gonna be a goodie. We got this bizarre clip recorded by a group of friends exploring this bizarre-looking tunnel. At first glance, it looks like a place you'd send your friends when you want to scare them, but it turns out there's actually a lore to this place. It's found deep in Kentucky along Route 77 and is popularly known as the Nada Tunnel. There are stories of a presence that lurks within that tunnel. Some believe the presence inside is tied to a climber who fell to his death nearby, while others say it's the spirit of a construction worker killed in a dynamite accident during the tunnel's early days. Whatever the case, the individuals recording the clip were curious to see it for themselves. The tunnel runs roughly 900 feet and is so tight that only one car can pass through at a time with no lighting at all once you're inside. Visitors have long reported hearing voices echoing through the darkness or catching glimpses of a strange green light. In the footage captured that night, the group insists they can see the outline of a man standing somewhere ahead of them. Personally, I watched their full clip and found nothing, but, well, who knows? Perhaps you have to be there and see and experience it for yourself. If you noticed anything too, and you'd been there, well, please share. I know we mentioned the Ohio meteors in our previous episode, but it didn't end there. There've been more sightings since our last episode. Take what's on your screen, for example. This was recorded in Texas, and when you pay attention to the footage, well, you notice that it's not falling to Earth like most meteors. No, this one seems to have a mind of its own and seems to be flying around. Now, I'm no scientist, as if that wasn't obvious, but even I know that meteors aren't supposed to do that. The only logical conclusion I came to is that this footage is either doctored or we have an alien situation on our hands. Which of them sounds like the most plausible reason to you? Let's hear your thoughts in the comment section.
Like, what is that?
Is some guy claiming to have captured a Pegasus and a Yeti in Antarctica. Okay, so is this some guy that's been behind the ice wall? Is this what we're getting at here? Well, let's take a look and see what we got. Well, that's not just one. Is that a Yeti? It's really well done. You could almost believe it, couldn't you? I mean, you really could almost believe it. But if things are so tight, supposedly so tight security-wise behind the so-called ice wall, and there's a whole new civilization and all this stuff that's supposedly there, and this is where these guys all come from, all the mythical beings and everything in the world, then how did he get there? Surely the security would be beyond tight, right? And that's what I've never understood about these supposed sightings, but I don't know, you tell me. Now this was taken on the New Jersey Freeway. New Jersey Freeway, man. Michael Bradbury. All right, Michael, what you got?
Yeah, so this is Cleveland, Ohio. On Saturday night, the 14th. We just left the city of Euclid and came across this. And we've traveled about 1.5 miles so far, and it's still going until what seems to be this end point. Don't know what it is. Almost looks like an SOS or some kind.
It's kind of difficult to tell what that could be. I mean, it could be an electrical outage, an electrical short in that particular area. And if it was an electrical short, then it would be understandable that they're all doing the same thing at the same time. Or it could be Morse code. I mean, I personally don't know. Is there anything here that... These lights aren't, you know, they don't all have separate switches and a separate grid for each light. So if there's a problem in one stretch, they're all going to be doing the same thing. At least that's what I mean, is there anybody that deals with these kinds of situations? Anybody out there that can tell us any different? Please tell me.
And we've traveled about 1.5 miles so far, and it's still going until what seems to be this end point. Don't know what it is. Almost looks like an SOS or some kind.
Speaking of possible UFO sightings, this was recorded some days ago in Brooklyn, yeah, just a few hours apart from the Ohio sighting. In this footage, we see what looks like a UFO exiting another ship that's much larger. We don't see the whole thing, but from what we can see, we're most likely dealing with a mothership that's sending a scout ship out to do what scout ships do. The mothership here might be cloaked. I know that sounds funny, but, well, how else do you explain what you're seeing? And still on to things we can't explain. Watch this. This clip isn't the best quality out there, but from what we can see, there's a man speaking to a receptionist. We're not sure what he says to her, but she just gets up, almost like she was being mind-controlled, and walks out. Now, the uploader of the clip states that this happened in Anchorage, Alaska. According to him, it's an old clip, and the lady we see in it disappeared shortly afterwards. The police department has kept the footage ever since in hopes of finding her. Despite their best attempts, it only remains an attempt. No results yet. A few people believe the man we see in the clip is Mib, aka Men in Black. If it is indeed one, then, well, we can understand why she's never been found, I guess. Okay, now, I know I'm gonna hate this clip before I've even watched it. Yeah. Come on here. Come on here. It's so obviously AI, man. So obviously AI. I mean, you got to admit things are getting better and better, but whatever is supposedly pulling this guy in, you can tell a mile away that this guy's not moving naturally, you know? Now, I know this is a peculiar sight, but it's just nature doing its thing. Meet the Brahmia moths. They're actually involved in a mating ritual which forms the single symmetrical illusion you and I are looking at. During their mating ritual, there's minimal movement, just subtle positioning and antenna contact, before they connect abdomen to abdomen. They remain joined for several hours, often completely still, allowing the transfer of reproductive material. Afterwards, the male departs while the female stays behind to lay fertilized eggs, continuing the cycle. If you're seeing them for the first time like I am, Brahmia moths are large, striking insects known for their broad wings patterned with intricate, wood grain-like swirls that help them blend into tree bark. They're found mainly across parts of Asia. Now that we've learned a little science, let's get back to the paranormal, and yes, Julius included this and taught me what to say. At first glance, this looks like a cute video between a man and his girlfriend. He's waiting for her at the car park. She shows up and he pretends to lock her out. We've seen this in many romantic movies. You might have even done it with your own girlfriends, but I almost didn't pay attention until I read the caption. This man isn't being cute. He's literally fighting for his life. According to him, he'd left his girlfriend at home to move to the location he was. It's a place they usually went together, but tonight he was alone and had even just ended a call with her. Just as he was out to move out, he saw a lady trying to enter the car looking like her. He locks it, which brings us to the first part of the footage. He uploaded this clip as evidence of his ordeal, and when he was asked what or who he thought was pretending to be his girlfriend, he answered a skinwalker. And when you think about it, that makes sense, but you also got to ask, well, obviously, is he telling the truth? If I had $1 for every time someone said they had real footage of life behind the ice wall, I'd be a millionaire right now. Most of these clips turn out to be fake, but the individual who uploaded this insists it's real. In the clip, we see what looks like a whole new civilization living behind the wall. It's giving Wakanda vibes, like a super advanced city and civilization that's living by itself. As interesting as the whole thing sounds and looks, members of the community have questions. They're asking why this super advanced society will let the helicopter fly close enough to take the clip and also allow them to return. There are two hypotheses. First, they wanted to be found. Second, none of this ever happened. Which one are you betting is the true situation? And I'll see if you can place a bet on which one I think is the real situation. Now, I've seen videos like this one before. Let's take a look. Man, woman, in comes a crocodile, there you go. Out he gets as fast as hell. My biggest thing, right, when it comes to this is not the fact that this could be Florida. You know, a crocodile has just decided to have a bit of a swim in a pool. Who can blame it? It's the fact that the guy didn't even try to defend his girlfriend. He just ran out of there and left her as bait. So my question more than anything else is this girl still with him? Because I doubt it thoroughly. Watch the clip closely, but listen to me as well. For centuries, people have claimed to see mermaids lurking beneath the ocean's surface, half human, half something else entirely. Stories like this didn't just appear out of nowhere. They showed up in old sailor journals passed down through generations, and even in modern-day clips that seem to disappear almost as quickly as they surface. Some believe that isn't a coincidence. There's a theory that we know about the ocean is only scratching the surface. While we look for space for answers, something much closer to home has remained hidden. After all, we've explored more of space than we have our own oceans, but what exactly could still be down there? There's no verified evidence, no biological proof, and most sightings can be traced back to known marine animals, misidentifications, or simple illusions created by the water itself. Still, not everything is that easy to brush aside. Watch this compilation carefully, look at every detail, and decide for yourself. Do mermaids truly exist? Now, this next clip, I've seen it before. And it's either one hell of an illusion, or it's an edited clip. And I'm not sure exactly which, but look for yourself and you tell me. For this to be real, obviously the girl has to be in on it as well. I don't know enough about physics to really make an assumption for myself, so we got any physicists out there? Or anyone who can explain this illusion, if indeed it is one? I've seen weird and I have seen disturbing, but this particular footage, well, it's hard to decide where to classify. In the clip, we see what looks like to be the silhouette of a woman. Her skin is pale and she's making facial expressions you usually wouldn't expect to see from a damsel. The individual who uploaded this insists that she might be a skinwalker. I understand why she would think that, but we don't have enough evidence to call her one. Speaking of evidence, we also don't have enough to say she's not a skinwalker. I got my sentiments, but I'd love to hear yours. What do you make of the whole clip? While you gather your thoughts on that, let's visit Tawan. Did you see that? According to locals, this thing just showed up in the sky one day and they didn't know what they were looking at. The uploader of the clip was asking if this was a sign the world was ending. The community, on the other hand, felt this might be nothing more than a portal activation. I have looked at it and I feel this might just be CGI, you know? Don't get me wrong, I believe these things do exist and do happen, but it's just that this particular footage has me feeling like someone made it up for their 5 minutes of fame. But you've seen it now, so you tell me what you think your verdict on this is. Look closely, pay attention to the ground. Do you see that glow there? Now, a second and third look and you'll realize that there might be a tunnel underground where the light is coming from. I did a little more research and reading and discovered that this clip was captured at NAU. For those outside the US, NAU is the Northern Arizona University. For many years, there have been rumors that there are tunnels beneath the university being used for dubious activities. Official communications state that the NAU tunnels typically refer to the underground utility and maintenance tunnels beneath the Northern Arizona University camps in Flagstaff. Not everyone is buying that, especially the students. They believe something is going on there, and this footage, according to them, is one of the many proofs the university tried to suppress. Assuming they're right, and there was something dubious going on underneath the school, well, what do you think might it be?
I know you see that.
This clip brings back memories. I haven't seen it since the first year we started this channel. Someone sent this clip to us asking if we could confirm that the beings in this clip are angels. Well, truth be told, it's one of my favorite clips from the old days, but instead of answering, I'm throwing the question back to you guys, especially the OGs. Who remembers what we concluded from the figures in the clip? I'll be looking for your answers, and I'll call out the OGs who've been here since we started this channel. I'll be reading the comments, guys. So these guys tried to pretend to their dog that they were just leaving the house. And the dog then assumes a humanoid shape and opens the doors itself.
Go away. Don't come any closer. Coconut. Please just go away. Oh my God.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Well, that's obviously a few clips put together. I personally don't see anything freaky there apart from dogs that can do, it's just dogs doing peculiar things because dogs can do peculiar things, and a bunch of bad people. I think we resolved that one.
Go away. Don't come any closer. Coconut. Please just go away. Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Having Wi-Fi at home is so convenient, but do you know it can be used to map your home and construct a real-time 3D pose estimation? Surprisingly, Wi-Fi signals can be used for 3D pose estimation by analyzing how signals bounce off and interact with objects and human bodies in a given environment. Instead of relying on cameras, Wi-Fi-based pose estimation uses radio frequency signals to detect movement and reconstruct a subject's posture in real time. This method is particularly useful in low-light conditions, privacy-sensitive areas, or places where cameras are impractical. So basically, anyone can hack into your Wi-Fi system and use your signals from the system to map out your entire home and plan an attack if they wanted to. Technology is great, but it's parts like these that scare me.
They had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right?
That's definitely not a terrifying sound.
A hiker, while in the middle of the woods, started to hear this strange howl. The sound went on for quite a while until it came to a stop. This wasn't a call from any known creature in the wilderness, which made everything eerie. When they shared the video online, one comment stood out. The suggestion reignited age-old debates about the existence of cryptids. Bigfoots have long been a figure of folklore and conspiracy, with countless sightings and reports but no definitive proof. Naturally, this has got people searching for proof of his existence. Are these hair-raising howls the cause of the elusive Bigfoot or an unknown creature lurking in the wilderness? Either of these will be a game-changer, unless, of course, it's merely an elaborate prank being played on our credulous ears. Hopefully not.
That's definitely not a terrifying sound.
The world is full of stories about strange and mysterious creatures. Some are proven to be hoaxes, while others remain intriguing mysteries. This particular footage might keep you up at night for days, maybe. In the video, a humanoid figure is covered in thick, shiny hair, both fascinating and frightening. At first, this creature seems like a new addition to the cryptid lore. However, the truth behind this creature is less mysterious. It's a well-crafted prop from a horror movie, Hail the Rotma. If you've seen it, then you know that this creature is the raw monster in sewage. Without prior knowledge, however, if you were to run into this in the dark, you may die of a heart attack. The filmmakers did an incredible job of designing a creature so detailed that it definitely looks real. The creature's mouth and grotesque head show the exceptional craftsmanship involved, don't you agree? Tell me why this tree looks like a tree person, because it seriously does. The branches and leaves on top look almost like wild, unkempt hair, and then there's this one lower branch stretching out like a bony arm reaching for something. The trunk itself, it's shaped way too much like a body standing tall like it's frozen mid-step. It's eerie like some kind of ancient forest guardian or a spirit trapped in wood. It even reminds me of the Whomping Willow from Harry Potter. You see it. Once you notice it, you can't unsee it. I have a feeling that this tree might have dark stories. If you know anything about it, then please share.
Who are you? What are you?
Is this the right house?
Who are you?
Okay, test us the right house.
Who are you?
Okay, test us.
No.
Oh. What?
Yeah, bye.
Ted?
Get out of my house.
Ted live here.
Who is Ted? He's
Ted.
lived here for
Ted.
2 years. Get out of my house.
Imagine being home and having unwanted visitors just waltz in without a care. And when I say unwanted visitors, this time I'm not referring to the paranormal kind, but instead those with flesh and blood. A woman was home alone when two men just casually walked in. She was a bit surprised when she saw them and asked what they wanted. The men stated that they were looking for their friend who lived in the building. She explained that there was no one in the house with that name and they just walked back out. The story did not end there though. They just stayed outside and then tried to come back in. This time she'd locked the door and they kept knocking. She was obviously scared at this point and decided to call the police. The men still remained, trying to get her to come to the door. She remained locked up until police arrived. The funny thing is, the men were still around and told the police it was a mix-up. The police also just walked to her and told her to stop freaking out and that it was an accident. Really? Imagine if they tried to overpower this woman whose husband was out running an errand. She would have been at their mercy. In fact, the situation shook her so much that she decided to get a firearm, and who can blame her? What would you have done in her situation, and do you think her reason for getting a firearm is justified? Let's hear your thoughts.
What are you?
Is this the right house?
Who are you?
Okay, test us the right house.
Who are you?
Okay, test us.
No.
Oh. What?
Yeah, bye.
Ted
Get out of my house.
live here.
Who is Ted? He's
Ted.
lived here for
Ted.
2 years. Get out of my house.
UFO sightings continue to fuel ongoing discussions and capture public interest. Reports of unidentified flying objects frequently make headlines, and the topic seems to be gaining momentum. This recent sighting comes from Germany, where an observer reported seeing a distinct triangular-shaped object in the sky. Given the prevalence of drones in modern airspace, it's important to consider the possibility that this sighting may be attributed to terrestrial technology. However, the question remains, could this mysterious aerial object be evidence of extraterrestrial visitation? While mourners were gathered at a funeral ceremony of a deceased woman, something strange happened. One of the wreaths that was placed on a metal stand began to move. The whole metal stand and the wreath swayed back and forth, and this began to stir a commotion among the mourners. They start to cry hysterically because they assume the dead lady is trying to talk to them. We've heard some of these things happen in cultures around the world. This, however, is one of the first times it's been recorded. What do you think? Real, staged, or something else entirely with a more logical explanation? Please share your thoughts on this one. This boy was out in the woodlands riding his ATV, just enjoying the day. He'd set up a camera to film himself driving, but when he reviewed the footage later, he noticed something strange in the background. Take a look. There, right in front of the tree line, you can see it. A tall, dark figure moving through the woods. It's bipedal, walking with long, deliberate strides. As soon as the paranormal community got their hands on this footage, they were convinced that this was a Bigfoot sighting. People pointed out the height, the movement, and how it seemed to blend into the shadows of the forest. But here's the thing. There's something about it that just feels off. Maybe it's the way it moves, maybe it's too perfect. That's got people thinking that the whole thing is a hoax, but to each his own. What do you say? This footage is stunning. Someone captured these glowing lights streaking across the sky during sunset with trails of white, orange, and blue following behind. It doesn't look like fireworks. There's something too smooth and natural about the movement. Could it be a meteor shower? That seems like a strong possibility, especially with the way the colors mix as they burn up in the atmosphere. But then again, the way they move almost looks too controlled. Either way, whatever it is, there's no denying that it looks absolutely beautiful. What do you think it is? Matrix glitches are some of the most bizarre and mind-bending phenomena that people report all over the world, and this next clip is no exception. A man parked his car in a lot, went about his business, and returned to find something completely unreal. There, lodged into his car, was a tree, but not in an ordinary way. This tree appeared to have grown through the front passenger seat from the ground up through the car's interior. What's even stranger is that you can see the full reflection of the tree's top in the car's windshield, as though it had been there for years. But the man had only parked there a few hours ago. How could a tree have grown into the car in such a short time? It seems that the only explanation for this was a Matrix glitch. Or do you have another explanation? A man visited Clingman Dome, taking several beautiful photos of the sunset. But after returning home and reviewing the images, he noticed something strange. In the top right corner of the sky, there was an odd-looking object. This object didn't resemble any known aircraft, and its triangular shape stood out against the evening sky. While it's difficult to say exactly what it is just from the photo, the owner believes that they captured a UFO. What do you think? Could this be proof of something extraterrestrial or something else? A homeowner received a motion alert from her security system, which was odd because her entire family was away on vacation. No one should have been in the house. So she checked the live feed on her phone, and what she saw left her speechless. Two glowing orbs floated through her living room, drifting slowly before disappearing out of the camera's view. These weren't just specks of dust catching the light, they were large, bright, and had deliberate movement to them. Skeptics say it's just dust or lens flare, but these orbs are way too defined and luminous to be something so ordinary. Paranormal enthusiasts believe orbs like these could be spiritual energy or even ghosts, but what do you think? There has always been a long-running conspiracy that the world is controlled by elite figures who work behind the scenes, keeping certain knowledge from the public. Some believe this completely, while others brush it off as just another wild theory. But this case, it might just prove that the theory is right. A man from Zimbabwe invented a generator that didn't use electricity but instead harnessed frequencies from the environment to produce power. Think about that. Free energy without the need for fuel or traditional electricity. But the moment his invention gained attention, everything took a dark turn. He was thrown in jail, and soon after, some foreign experts flew in to examine his patent. Then they took control of it, and he was flown out of Africa. Once he arrived in the new location, he was almost poisoned. Now, imagine if his invention had been allowed to exist. No more reliance on electricity grids, no more outrageous energy bills, and no more dependence on fossil fuels. That would completely disrupt the global power structure. So was all this just a coincidence, or is this proof that the shadow elites will do whatever it takes to keep control? A lot of people overlook just how incredible and powerful water can be. I mean, I'm talking about the natural wonders like rivers, oceans, lakes, you name it. Take a look at this beautiful yet terrifying sight. It was captured at a beach where a man spotted something incredible happening out in the ocean. It's a tunnel of water stretching from the sea all the way up into the sky. At the top, there's this ring of clouds that looks almost like a donut, and right in the center of it is where the column of water is coming down from, connecting right back into the ocean. It's mesmerizing, but also a reminder that nature can be terrifying, especially water. It's as if the ocean itself is reaching up to the heavens, and the sheer force of that spout just shows how powerful and unpredictable water can be. Water might seem calm on the surface sometimes, but can equally be terrifying. What do you think of this phenomenon, and have you seen one before? Stepping away from earthly things, take a look at these clouds.
Look, bro, this look like a woman, bro. Look, this look like a whole picture. Bro, come here, look at my phone.
What do you see? Tell me you see them too. The clouds somehow look like a picture involving multiple individuals. I'm pretty sure that's not normal. The individual recording is even shocked himself, and I can't blame him. Once he uploaded the clip, all sorts of theories came from different angles and directions, with some stating it had to be the government's blue beam technology. Others felt it was a sign from God, whereas a small sect believe it was a sign we're living in the Matrix. A very small group held on to Julius's beliefs. The whole thing was fake, and it was meant to deceive the masses. Now we can say with certainty which of these it is, but if it was indeed an attempt to mislead the masses, then certainly whoever planned it has succeeded, because more than 60 to 70% of the paranormal community believe this is real. What about you?
Look, bro, this look like a woman, bro. Look, this look like a whole picture. Bro, come here, look at my phone.
These teenagers made a bold decision to open a room in their house that had been sealed and shut off for 6 years. Out of curiosity, they grabbed a sage bundle, lit it, and stepped inside. At first, it just looked like an old abandoned room. Inside, there was a desk, a monitor, a baby cot, and some random objects, nothing too unusual. But then, something shifted. A few of them started feeling lightheaded as soon as they stood in the room, and then the boy holding the sage began speaking out loud, saying, "You are not welcome here." Moments later, he winced in pain and said his back was burning. The group quickly checked and there were fresh scratch marks across his lower back. The kids all freaked out and left the room in shock. I guess the room was closed for a reason. Whatever was in that room clearly did not appreciate being disturbed.
I just got so lightheaded. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. I got lightheaded as soon as I walked in here.
Yeah.
You are not welcome here.
Oh, my head's itching. I
If
think
there's any
there's lights
spirits
in here.
leave. You are not welcome.
What are you doing in the closet, dude?
Oh, my back's burning.
Is it really?
My back's
Do you have
burning.
scratch marks in it? I don't know.
Oh my god!
No, you're kidding.
Stop.
No, get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Scratch marks up your back.
Stop.
No, you do.
Stop. You're giving me anxiety.
Oh my god!
You're kidding, right? You're
No!
kidding. Look.
This video was taken a while ago. It shows various clips of people being caught coming out of tunnels in the US. These tunnels are said to be part of a network that connects throughout the city, and oddly enough, the men caught were all Jewish. Now, could that be a coincidence? Well, I don't think so. We've heard of tunnels all over the world, ranging from secret operations to underground communities. Some are dismissing this as paranoia, but then, why are these men using the tunnels, and what purpose do these underground networks serve? Is there more to this story, or is it being blown out of all proportion? Well, I did some digging around and discovered that there was an issue with synagogues in Brooklyn early last year that resulted in these tunnels being dug out. I think the issue has been resolved now, but then again, what if that's just a cover for something bigger? It may just be the paranoia talking, but let's hear your thoughts.
In Trinity County and all of East Texas. Sheriff Woody Wallace for Trinity County here. Look at here, we got some dumpers. And everybody knows we don't tolerate dumping in East Texas, especially in Trinity County. So I don't know who dumped this, but we're going to do everything we can to find out. What the perpetrators don't realize is on both ends of this road, I have cameras up. I can see the cars when they come in. I can check the cars when they come out. They had a bunch of garbage when they come in, and it's not still in the back of their truck when they leave. We've got a problem. So this right here.
Now in this footage, a sheriff was having an interview with a park in Texas, Trinity County. As the sheriff passionately addresses the issue of dumped trash, urging viewers to respect the sanctity of the park, something emerges behind him from among the trees. The sheriff doesn't see it, but viewers do, a creature standing upright and covered in fur. But before anyone can get a good look, the creature disappears into the trees, leaving everyone amazed and unsure of what they just saw. But one thing is for sure, this creature was no bear or gorilla. Many who saw the clip believe we got a Bigfoot on our hands. What do you think? Thought it would be appropriate to go out with a big bang. Now look at that, a massive bull with huge thick horns on its head. In many cultures, bulls are revered for their vitality and celebrated in traditional sports like bullfighting and rodeo. But despite their grace, their power can be daunting. Imagine the damage it would cause if it sweeps you off the ground. For all their majesty and magnificence, bulls are creatures to be approached with caution. Their strength is unmatched, and their potential for harm is real. In their presence, one can't help but feel humbled by the raw power of the natural world.
Okay. Watch, I got my outlet right here. Okay. 183 volts. Okay, now watch this. I'm gonna plug in my phone.
Still on modern things that are dangerous to our health, what you see is a man with a device for measuring radiation. He starts off by measuring his outlet without his phone plugged in, and then connects his phone, then records it.
So I got my phone plugged in. Now watch. This is how much radiation you're getting just from having your phone next to your bed. Wow.
For those who don't understand what's happening, the simplified explanation is that our phones emit radiation that's harmful to us. Leaving it on a charge while sleeping only makes the situation worse. Phone makers are aware of this danger. Apple includes the following guidance in iPhone settings. To limit RF energy exposure, consider using hands-free options like the built-in speaker, provided headphones, or similar accessories. Keep your iPhone away from your body to maintain exposure at tested levels. Cases containing metal parts may alter RF performance and affect compliance with exposure guidelines. While that sounds like great advice, is it really though? I mean, even if you're only getting the bare minimum of radiation daily, imagine what that will look like after accumulating for a year. 5 years and even 20 to 30 years. That small daily dosage can become something very lethal.
Phone radiation can damage brain cells. Poor cell phone reception. Weak bars, don't use your phone. It can give you 10,000 times more exposure.
I'm not saying this could be the cause of Alzheimer's, cancer, and so many other modern diseases that we have, but who is to say that it's not playing a role? Just think about it.
Watch, I got my outlet right here. Okay, 183 volts. Okay, now watch this. I'm gonna plug in my phone. So I got my phone plugged in. Now watch. This is how much radiation you're getting just from having your phone next to your bed.
This is rapper XXXTentacion, and during an interview he made some very thought-provoking comments. Take a listen.
If you're going to listen to an artist consistently and it's your favorite artist, you most definitely should understand who it is that you're looking into or listening to. There's brainwashing that gets involved in music, in the music industry, like recording things backwards and all these different things that people don't know, frequency channelings and different things like that. So you never know who you're with unless you fully dwell into them as a person.
He spoke about how the music we consume isn't just entertainment, it's a form of brainwashing, filled with subliminal messages that influence us without us even realizing it. Now, XXXTentacion is no longer with us, but many believe there was more to his passing than just a robbery gone wrong. But let's focus on something even deeper, the themes in modern rap music. Have you ever noticed that mainstream rap, especially among young black artists, often revolves around the same topics? Sex, drugs, money, and a glorified gangster lifestyle. It's almost as if there's a formula that keeps getting pushed. But why? Some theorists suggest that this is a deliberate attempt to push young black listeners towards a destructive lifestyle that ultimately leads to crime and incarceration. And who benefits from that? Well, the private prison system. More crime means more prisoners, which means more money for those who run these facilities. And here's where it gets even more suspicious. The major record labels that sign and promote these artists are often owned by wealthy white executives. So is this all just a coincidence, or is there some truth hidden behind the surface?
There's brainwashing that gets involved in music, in the music industry, like recording things backwards and all these different things that people don't know, frequency channelings and different things like that. So you never know who you're with unless you fully dwell into them as a person.
Optical illusions can play tricks on our minds, making us see things that aren't there. They take advantage of the quirks and limits of our perception, creating images that could be seen in different ways depending on how you look at them. Take, for example, the first clip. At first glance, it looks like there's a spooky, pale skull staring back at you. It's eerie and unsettling, making you think of ghosts or the supernatural. But if you look closer, you realize it's just a dog with its head resting at a strange angle on the bed. The way its fur and features are positioned make it momentarily look like a skull, but it's simply a trick of perspective. The rest of the clips are no different, and this shows how our brains can misinterpret what we see, especially when the scene is unusual or ambiguous. What seems like a scary apparition at first could just be a normal moment captured misleadingly. Imagine the number of weird sightings we have freaked out over that was just optical illusions. Aliens have perpetually piqued humans' curiosity, shrouded in fascination and enigma, whether through accounts of sightings in the dead of night or grainy videos. This footage captured over a densely forested area reveals a perplexing sight among the trees. an otherworldly entity. This enigmatic being had a disproportionately large head with dark penetrating eyes, and its gaze eerily tracked the movements of the camera. Every day, the line between science fiction and reality gets blurrier, and the idea of meeting aliens becomes more real. I mean, they might just become our next-door neighbors at this point, or do you think I'm exaggerating? Just in case it was not clear enough, that's a dolphin in the pool where a woman's birthing a baby. If you're wondering why, I've got the answers. In Hawaii, there was a practice where women gave birth in the water alongside dolphins. The idea was that the dolphins emitted healing frequencies, creating a calming environment to help the mother have a safe and natural birth. The presence of dolphins was believed to enhance the birthing experience, reducing pain and stress for the mother through these natural vibrations. However, this type of birthing practice was eventually shut down and labeled as unsafe. While the scientific reasons might make sense to many, there are some who don't think it's as unsafe as scientists label it, since it's something that's existed for centuries. According to the man speaking, the dolphins emit frequencies that are therapeutic for the birthing mother and the baby. He even argues that if the sonar and frequencies from the dolphin are unsafe, why then do we use similar technology and scans for the baby throughout the 9 months? I get that both sides have sane arguments, but, well, let's just say this man is right. If these natural methods are beneficial like he says, why aren't they more widely accepted? Instead, we're often directed toward hospitals where medications and pain relief are standard practice. Does Big Pharma have something to do with this, or is he just making a case where there is none? I think we might need your opinion on this one, so please share your thoughts.
Dolphins support humans. There's all studies on this. This goes into the brain of a dolphin. This goes into sonar. This goes into the frequencies, ultrasounds, which they're using on mothers and things like that. They're deriving technology from whales and dolphins.
Do you think the government would intentionally want us sick and unwell? Well, before you answer, you should see this clip.
I want you to see it for yourself. You see that? I'm going to put in one finger. Trisodium phosphate.
So the man in this clip was going over some of the ingredients used in cereal and came across some rather disturbing names. The most disturbing for him was trisodium phosphate. After picking it out, he mentions that no one is going to eat cereal again after seeing what that ingredient is all about. He quickly moves to Home Depot, where we see it being used in strong cleaning chemicals. This naturally got me doing some research, and I discovered that trisodium phosphate, or TSP for short, is added to some cereals as a food-grade additive to regulate acidity, preventing clumping and maintaining texture. The FDA considers it generally recognized as safe, or GRAS, at the low levels used in food. It helps cereals stay crisp in milk and provides shelf stability, making it a common ingredient in many processed foods. Excessive phosphate intake from multiple processed foods, however, may contribute to kidney strain, weakened bones, and cardiovascular issues, particularly in individuals with kidney disease. So why take something when it's poisonous, and who determines what safe quantities are? And isn't it common sense to not have kids take in poisonous stuff? Well, maybe I'm overthinking it, I don't know. Anyway, our conspiracy theorist mentions that Big Pharma and the like have a plan to keep us sick so they can keep making money off of us. Sounds crazy, I know, but what do you guys think?
I want you to see it for yourself. You see that? I'm going to put in one finger. Trisodium False.
Conyers, and they just sent out a alert for us to shelter in place and close all your windows because this is a chemical fire. So look at those clouds.
This video was taken by a woman driving through Conyers, Georgia, where thick, ominous fumes were billowing into the air from a nearby biolab. The lab had caught fire, and the fumes being released were toxic. Emergency alerts were sent out on September the 29th, urging residents to close their windows and stay indoors to avoid exposure. Just take a look at the density of the smoke. It looks like something out of a disaster film, but this is very real. The fact that it's coming from a biolab raises even more concern. What kind of materials were inside, and how dangerous are these fumes? It's hard not to wonder how this happened and what kind of long-term effects might it have on the environment and the health of the community. Anyone who knows more about this should let us know in the comments section.
Conyers, and they just sent out a alert for us to shelter in place and close all your windows because this is a chemical fire. So look at those clouds.
While you figure that out, you might want to take a look at this ginormous beauty of a specimen.
Oh my god. Oh gee. Oh, a big kangaroo in front of me. I'm scared.
I'm not a zoologist, but that's definitely not normal. The individual who uploaded the clip stated that it was definitely reaching up to 9 feet in height. While that's impressive, I was definitely distracted by those strong-looking muscles. After admiring it for a few seconds and feeling sorry for myself— wait, scratch that, you didn't hear that. Back to my research. I discovered that kangaroo sizes vary by species. The largest, the red kangaroo, can reach up to 6 feet in height with a tail length of about 3.3 feet, and males weigh between 121 to 198 pounds, while females are smaller at around 3.6 feet and 40 to 88 pounds. Eastern gray kangaroos grow up to 5 to 6 feet tall for males, weighing 110 to 145 pounds, while females are typically 4 to 4.6 feet tall and weigh 37 to 88 pounds. Western gray kangaroos are slightly smaller, with males reaching 4.3 to 5.3 feet and weighing 62 to 119 pounds, while females weigh 35 to 82 pounds. While that's a lot of kangaroo information, you can clearly tell that this big guy doesn't fit any of the dimensions stated here. So what do you think we're dealing with?
Oh my god. Oh gee. Oh, a big kangaroo in front of me. I'm scared.
What you're looking at is said to be a 3,000-year-old water control system, an ancient technology that manipulates the flow of water with just a simple touch. In the video, there's a flat stone surface with a narrow path in the middle where water is flowing through steadily. Then a hand reaches in and sweeps across the path from left to right and then right to left. When the hand moves from left to right, the flow slows down, and when it moves from right to left, the water speeds up. Now, this might look like some sort of trick, but historians and researchers say these kinds of water control systems exist all over the world, built by ancient civilizations long before modern plumbing. Some believe this could be evidence of advanced hydraulic engineering from thousands of years ago, while others suggest it could be something even more mysterious, technology that we still don't fully understand. My money is on the latter. What would you consider scarier, seeing an unidentified man on your security cams or finding a paranormal humanoid, say a ghost? For the owner of this security cam, both experiences are not mutually exclusive. We're not sure what led him to that, but he decided to review footage from his security cam, and what he saw is what you're also seeing on your screen. Initially, he assumed it was a person, but the more he looked at the clip, the more he felt he was dealing with a paranormal being. He felt it could be a ghostly entity, but he didn't expect such an experience on his relatively normal property. He therefore uploaded the clip on a paranormal platform, hoping someone could attend to him. As always, the paranormal community treated it like life and death, with many scrutinizing the clip and coming up with theories. Many felt it was a paranormal being because although it was humanoid, it lacked discernible features that could make it human. Others also felt it was definitely human, and the low light had something to do with it looking all ghostly and soft in the image. You've seen the clip as well, so what's your theory?
And I see these. He's like throwing an angel baby on the floor or through the roof. It's like little, but it has horns on top.
A woman was walking by a building in Fresno when she noticed something strange. On this building, there were some rather odd-looking statues. The statues were strange and unsettling. One of them appeared to be a winged creature, almost like a gargoyle, tossing a baby angel. There were other equally eerie statues, along with some unusual paintings covering the building's exterior. What could this all mean? Some are speculating that it could be linked to a cult or some kind of hidden symbolism. What do you make of this?
And I see these. He's like throwing an angel baby on the floor or through the roof. It's like little, but it has horns on top.
Here we have another heartbreaking story of an animal lost to extinction, the kauai, a bird native to Hawaii. This species officially went extinct in 1987, and the last known individual, a male, was seen in 1989. The kauai was once known for its distinctive flute-like song that echoed through the Hawaiian forests. However, as their numbers dwindled due to habitat destruction, invasive species, and other environmental threats, this poor bird found itself utterly alone. In a final, heart-wrenching moment, the last male was recorded singing a mating call, hoping to attract a female that no longer existed.
Vea. Te está espiando, Vea.
Moving on from these conspiracies, let's look at this clip uploaded by a man known as Xavier, who was staying in a hotel with his family.
Se va a suicidar.
It was supposed to be a beautiful night, but the session was interrupted by this scene.
Esto es porque te ha visto guapa y quiere ligar contigo.
While preparing to join her husband, the wife noticed that there was someone standing on the roof close to them. Obviously shaken, she mentions to her husband, who asks her to turn off the lights so they can see the man better. She does so, and they keep watching. At first, she feared he was someone out to commit suicide, but that's not what happens. The man stands for a while and then leaves. They uploaded it online, asking for people's opinion on what happened. Some said that the man came up there to get away from his nagging wife, whereas others felt he wanted to harm himself but changed his mind. The paranormal community, however, feels differently. They feel there is something ominous driving the man. Looking at the clip and how chill the man was, I can't blame them for thinking so, but you also saw the clip, so what do you think was happening here?
No. Déjalo. Pero que dejen de abrir. No.
¿Qué coño de diario qué? Que no está fumando ni nada, se va a suicidar,
Se va a suicidar.
Did you know that your lights might actually be messing with you? Take a look at this. Fluorescent lights in classrooms have been linked to kids being diagnosed with ADD and ADHD. These lights are at a frequency that makes it hard to focus, leading to attention issues and restlessness in students. But a doctor experimented by placing LED sheets over the fluorescent lights, and guess what? The kids could focus better. Their ability to study improved almost instantly. Sounds like a simple fix, right? Well, not so fast. Even LED lights have their downsides. Some people report that they cause headaches and eye strain over time. It's crazy how one solution can create a whole new problem. But you gotta wonder. We already spoke about Wi-Fi signals and the danger associated with them, then mobile phones, and now light. Is there any human creation that's not negatively affecting us or slowly killing us?
And they are being impacted by the fluorescent bulbs, which are in the school, and then they are diagnosed with ADD and ADHD. LEDs are even worse than fluorescent because of the radio frequencies and their streetlights.
My father acquired the Bigfoot September 23, 1953.
What is that, you ask? Well, this man says that his father caught a Bigfoot back in 1953. According to him, his father found the creature in a swamp and brought it home. To preserve it, they placed it in the refrigerator, an unconventional choice, but one they thought would preserve the creature's features.
That they had no other choice, with most of them, to dissect them, cut them up so that they could get them out of the swamp.
The creature, with its brown fur and unusual features, remained frozen in the refrigerator for decades until he brought it out. When scientists finally examined it, they hoped to unlock its secrets, but their tests only deepened the mystery. The creature's DNA, appearance, and structure baffled experts, leaving them with more questions than answers. Was this truly a Bigfoot, a legendary creature of folklore, or was it something else entirely? A new species, a genetic anomaly, or even a hoax?
That they had no other choice, with most of them, to dissect them, cut them up so that they could get them out of the swamp.
While taking a nighttime stroll, someone encountered this surreal and eerie sight. Dozens of cats, maybe 50 or more, calmly walking along the side of the street. Their eyes glowed ominously in the darkness, reflecting the camera's light and creating an almost otherworldly scene. Immediately, these creatures sprang to mind. Where did these cats come from? Where are their owners? And why are so many gathered together? Now, we have no answers to this, but can anyone confirm if stray cats do this? So we can know if this is indeed something to be worried about or if it's just something surreal. By now, you've probably seen those viral videos going around, the ones where people wear this strange little device on their temple. The moment it clicks on, their eyes glaze over white and their body just slouches like they've completely checked out. According to the posts, the device supposedly transports the person into a virtual reality that takes over their mind completely. We've touched on this in previous videos, and just to clarify, it's not real. The whole setup was actually a promo stunt for a Black Mirror episode. Yep, total marketing move. But let's be honest, doesn't it make you think about how close we actually are to something like this being real? With how fast technology is evolving, brain-computer interfaces, neural implants, and full-dive VR, it's not that far-fetched. Sure, we're not quite there yet, but give it a few more years. It's kind of terrifying and, well, a bit fascinating at the same time. So if a device like this did exist, would you try it? The photo you're looking at is not a movie scene or an art piece. In 2020, something happened in the Netherlands that looked straight out of a dream or maybe a strange modern art installation. A tram failed to stop in time at the end of its elevated track in the city of Spijkenisse. Personally, I can't pronounce it, but Spijkenisse, Spijkenisse, I'm guessing. It smashed through the emergency barrier and was expected to plunge to the ground below, but it didn't. Instead, the train was caught mid-air, suspended on the tail of a giant whale. Not a real whale, of course, but an enormous sculpture titled "Saved by the Whale's Tail." It had been installed years earlier as a piece of public art at the end of the tracks, never intended to save anything. But on that day, it did exactly that. The back of the train came to rest perfectly atop the whale's tail, balancing there like some bizarre urban balancing act. No one was seriously hurt, but the train operator managed to get out safely. People were stunned. Photos of the scene quickly went viral, with many calling it a modern miracle or proof that art can save lives. Who would have thought that a sculpture could become an accidental superhero? It seems that paranormal creatures, supernatural beings, and cryptids are becoming even more real as time goes on. They're now perceived as actual creatures rather than just scary bedtime tales, and by no other than the Vatican. A whistleblower has mentioned that they're being provided with guidelines and training on what to do in encounters with supernatural beings. Now, this doesn't look like a joke if the Vatican came to release this, but it doesn't end there. Unsettling reports have surfaced on social media from other teachers claiming schools conducted drills for alien encounters, including a so-called skinwalker test lockdown at an Ohio school in November 2023. Additionally, a phenomenon dubbed demon face syndrome has emerged, where people claim to see human-like figures with demonic facial features reminiscent of the viral case of a woman who reported seeing a demon on a plane. These bizarre occurrences have fueled speculation that something ominous may be looming. Some have even theorized these events could be linked to the European particle physics lab CERN, suggesting their experiments may have inadvertently opened a portal, allowing interdimensional creatures into our world. The question on everyone in our team's mind is, why now? The funny thing is, we don't have answers, but if it's true, then we might be in serious trouble. Did you watch our previous episode, the one about the alien ship scanning living organisms and objects on our planet using lasers? If you didn't, please watch it after this episode ends. If you did, then you may understand this clip a little better. Enjoy. You see it, right? That's different ships scanning different areas with the same green laser. There's no way you can tell me these are all coincidences. I mean, coincidences that we have alien-looking ships flying at top speeds with green lasers scanning buildings and individuals? I don't think so. And you know the interesting thing? These were sent in by different subscribers, yet they'd all had one thing in common: green lasers. This has us wondering and asking how long these things have been going on for. Are they scanning just to keep our DNA, or are they searching for something or someone in particular? What do you guys think? Have you heard of Oz the Mentalist? Well, this guy is a magician, but what he does is something else entirely. He's been going around doing performances, and I'm not even sure you can call it just magic. Recently, he went on the Joe Rogan show, and Joe was floored. Oz gave Joe an envelope at the start of the show and told him not to open it till the end. Then, throughout the interview, Oz casually asked Joe some random questions, but when they got to the end of the show and Joe finally opened the envelope, inside were 3 sheets of paper. On each of these papers were the exact answers to the questions Oz had asked earlier, written before Joe had ever said a word. Every detail matched. Oz also had Joe do a coin toss 3 times, completely random, right? But Oz had already predicted how every single toss would turn out. Even when Joe insisted on a final toss, Oz still got it right. Then, just before the show ended, Oz said something wild. He asked Joe to change his bank PIN code. Now, come on, what kind of magic is that? This felt less like an illusion and more like mind control or telepathy. No wires or sleight of hand, just straight up mental invasion. You could see it in Joe's face that he was shocked. So what exactly is Oz hiding under his sleeves?
Read
out loud that's been in there from before we started.
It says Joe Rogan will get 3 coin flips in a row wrong, insist on doing one more, and then get that one wrong too.
The present. You can't change that. Change your bank PIN code right now. Change it.
Yeah, I'm going to. Jesus Christ. That's insane. You are a witch. We're going to have to kill you. Lock the door, Jamie.
Bam!
That's really insane, man.
Would you go under the knife to look good? What about to look younger? The man on your screen right now is allegedly 66. Yeah, 66. He only looks so young now because the surgeon by him allegedly performed some groundbreaking procedure on him that achieved the result. Many have been skeptical, though. Some say it's CGI, AI, or a different person. They pointed out that even if the surgeon could make him look younger, they doubted the surgeon could do anything about his voice or hair. For him to sound younger and also have grown is nothing short of a miracle. So either the whole thing is fake or we aren't being told the whole story. But what do you think?
If you see now the person behind me is also one of the team of the doctors in the operation. And that's why he is the one that also contributed to the healings and to the injuries in terms of after the operation. They were all really experienced. They have the expertise. They were so good, very patient with me.
Speaking of things I need your help explaining, take a look at this. I'm pretty sure I may have shared this in the past, but it's starting to go around again in the paranormal community. The individual recording was allegedly waiting for his DoorDash when he noticed this being outside his window. After a while, he heard knocks and went to check if the DoorDash had arrived, but it hadn't. Instead, it was this being or thing or entity watching him from a distance. Naturally, he was spooked, which led him to record his experience. Do you think this is real, though? If you do, what do you think that is?
I'm pulling the chicken off in chunks. I'm just pulling it off in chunks. I can rip this chicken open. Like, that's disgusting.
The individuals noticed that the chicken breast they bought looked rather odd, and as they were washing the meat, it just started to fall apart so easily. Just look at that. When you take a closer look inside the chicken, it almost appears to be made of thick, fibrous strands. This doesn't look like normal chicken at all. What could possibly be going on here? With so many concerns about food quality nowadays, everyone seems concerned. What's your take on it?
I'm pulling the chicken off in chunks. I'm just pulling it off in chunks. I can rip this chicken open. Like, that's disgusting.
There's been a lot of conspiracy surrounding Antarctica over the years. Everything from zombies to aliens, hidden portals, and even entire lost civilizations, and to be honest, it's easy to see why. The place is constantly wrapped in secrecy, and very few people ever get to see what's happening beyond those frozen barriers. I came across a collection of strange clips that are said to have been taken from behind the ice wall. These are videos of bizarre creatures allegedly found in the remote, untouched regions of Antarctica. And let me just say, they don't look like anything we're used to. The first clip shows something that looks like a stick-like creature, but it moves with a jelly-like wobble. It appears slimy and stretchy, almost like it's melting, but it doesn't walk. It glides or pulses forward like it's regenerating with every move. Then there's this black goo-like organism. Someone pokes at it with a tool, and at first it just squishes around, but then it moves on its own like it's alive. Next, there's this otherworldly form, which first looks like a group of grapes, but as the camera gets closer, you realize they're the heads of a single creature. One part even opens its mouth when touched. And finally, there's this strange shaped creature swimming deep beneath the ocean. It doesn't look like anything that I've ever known. So do you think these things come from Antarctica? Because if even a fraction of these sightings are real, well, then maybe, just maybe, some of the wildest theories aren't so crazy after all. Someone recently shared a very intriguing take, and it's got us thinking. We've all heard of the mythical fountain of youth, right? But what if there's something real out there that could reverse aging? Way back in the day, there was a substance known as radium. At one point, it was used in fertilizers, and the results were wild. Crops reportedly grew 2 to 3 times their normal size. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Some pellets infused with what we now call harmful substances like manganese, cobalt, and others were once believed to hold healing properties. Despite being labeled dangerous, certain studies have suggested that small controlled amounts of these elements might do some good. For instance, research has shown that cobalt and manganese could play a role in reversing gray hair, so could this radium or something similar actually be our real-world fountain of youth? Of course, it's worth noting that radium itself was eventually found to be highly radioactive and dangerous with prolonged exposure, but the idea that certain elements, when used in the right way, could slow down or even reverse aspects of aging, well, that's definitely a rabbit hole worth diving into. What do you think? Is the secret to youthful aging hidden in forgotten science? A man was filming one night when suddenly something extraordinary happened. Out of nowhere, a huge ball of light blasted across the sky, trailing colorful streaks behind it. The light illuminated the entire area for a brief moment before vanishing just as quickly as it appeared. Along with this spectacle, there was a loud, thunderous boom which echoed across the landscape. If you listen closely to the footage, you can hear the rain falling steadily in the background. But what exactly was that? Some people are speculating it could have been a comet or something along the lines of a fireball entering the atmosphere. You've seen the clip. What do you think it is? I always say this, hospitals are one of the biggest hotspots for ghost activity.
How do you show it? How do you tell a ghost to show it? Look at the heart rate. Make your heart rate speed up if you're a ghost. Make your heart rate speed up if you're a ghost.
In this video, a group of nurses entered a room and were shocked by what they found. The heart monitor was on, actively reading someone's vitals, but this is the strange part. The room was completely empty, and the machine wasn't even plugged in. This left the nurses convinced that they might be dealing with a ghost. On one of them, curious if the spirit was trying to communicate, asked if it could increase the heart rate. To their surprise, the monitor showed exactly that. The heart rate sped up. The nurses were all in shock, unable to believe what they were witnessing. I mean, you're definitely seeing everything I'm saying on your screen right now. The big question now is this real? Is this genuine? The paranormal community is divided. Where do you stand?
Speed up if you're a ghost.
Thấuใช่ไหมไม่ใช่เราคิดเถอะคิดจ้าทุกวันก่อนฉัน
No, I'm not gonna say it, but if you think he looks like him, well, I guess it's up to you. I know some of us might find it hard to believe, but this man is allegedly 135 years old. And yes, you heard that right. 135. It's not every day you see or hear such a thing. This has made me pretty skeptical. If I'm honest with you, I don't think it's real. There are some who even feel this is nothing more than CGI, and as I said, I don't blame them for feeling that way. There are also some who feel the footage is indeed real, but the man isn't up to 135. I'm no biology expert, so we'll call on the biologists here to take a thorough look at this case and educate the rest of us.
เปลี่ยนตาใครบริจาคตาเชิญค่ะไม่ทันแล้วให้น้องโยกให้ FC ได้เลย FC ขาโอ้โห
Just watch this clip. Just watch.
My mama planning on moving, and this the house that she planning on moving in, because we just found this type of shit. Y'all, when I tell y'all this house look like somebody getting kidnapped in this house and locked up in this house. Yes, oh my God, look. Look at the basement, first of all. Look at this. It look like people been locked up down here. Look at this. And then it's a shower right here. So that means he used to make them shower right here.
Would you believe me if I told you that what you're seeing is the basement of a rented space? Sounds weird and bizarre, right? But it is. She was freaking out as she went through the rooms below, and rightly so. The place looks like it was used for something other than a basement, like people lived there under inhumane circumstances. We got drawers, makeshift showers, and places that could have served as rooms or sleeping spaces. She shared the clip online, and many freaked out along with her. Not all were convinced, though. Some felt there might be a logical explanation. Some suggested it could have been a multiplex, while others stated the previous owner could have renovated it and rented it out to immigrant families who couldn't have afforded a space of their own. There were some who suggested it could have been an old mortuary, and a few others who suggested a butcher's house. As these explanations came up, there were a few who still held on to the theory that it could have been used for human trafficking or worse. Now, I won't pretend to be an expert on things like this, but even I can't stop wondering what could have happened to this place. Some have asked her to get in touch with the previous owner and call the police. What would you have done?
Like somebody been eating, they be eating right here. Then look at this, y'all. Look at this. This is the. Look at this. Like, it's literally a cage, bro. It's cages down here. Look. Like somebody been locked up.
This image was taken by a trail camera, and it's certainly unsettling. In the shot, there's a creature sitting on the forest floor, its head bent down as if in a moment of stillness or concentration. The figure is large with broad shoulders and a hunched posture, making it look quite imposing. The person who captured the image insists that this is Bigfoot, and when you look at it closely, it does seem to match the description of these elusive creatures. Tall, bulky, covered in hair, with a posture that isn't quite human. Skeptics argue that this is a misidentification, perhaps a person in thick clothing or an animal caught at a strange angle. But the size and shape make it harder to dismiss. Could this really be the legendary Bigfoot, or just another case of mistaken identity? It's a mix of fascination and terror when the unknown lurks in the depths of the woods. A person strolling through the trees suddenly notices a pair of glowing eyes fixated on them from the shadows. Intrigued and cautious, they decide to capture the mysterious watcher with their camera. As the lens focuses, a large creature with dark fur comes into view, peering directly at the camera. Concealed within a thicket of trees, it's challenging to discern its features. However, the creature's massive shoulders hint at its substantial size. The face remains mysterious, sparking speculation among onlookers. Some suggest it might be a dogman, a creature of folklore and myth, while others lean toward a more mundane explanation, proposing it could be a lost gorilla roaming the wilderness. What do you think it is?
That's pretty cool, man.
I wanted it to go up in the air, man.
It was still cool.
Set off another one or so.
Yeah. But, did you hear that?
Yeah.
This footage has been circling the internet for a while now. It's of two guys who have gone out to a remote field in the dead of night just to shoot some fireworks for fun. They went far from civilization, surrounded by open land. They were having fun until they heard this unnatural sound. They followed the noise and saw this. A pale creature curled up on the ground in the darkness. It didn't move much at first, and the footage is hard to make out due to how dark it was, but you can tell something's there. As the creature begins to shift, one of the guys fired a firework at it. The other was urged to get a closer look, but then the creature charged at them. This thing had no hair, an elongated body, and red liquid trailing down its chest. The guys screamed and ran, and the video ended in pure chaos. Some believe the creature is a crawler. Others argue it's just a person in a bodysuit, maybe with makeup on. What do you think they saw out there in the dark?
Oh. We gotta hit the car. What the f***? What the hell? What the hell? Oh.
Stepping away from the wonders of nature, we move into the supernatural, where something rather unusual has been captured on someone's home security system. In the clip, we hear an alarm system go off several times before a shadow-like figure moves from one part of the house to another. The individual whose camera captured this was shaken, and understandably so. After being told severally it was nothing by professionals, he turned to the paranormal community for help. Some told him he's got a spirit attached to him. Others mentioned he might have something living in his apartment. Well, the opinions were many. Someone even pointed out that it could be a real person whose form has been distorted by the low-quality camera system. And when you think about it like that, it sounds logical, but is that what really happened? Let's hear your thoughts. Some medics were casually hanging out, just chatting and unwinding. It was a cool hangout with nothing out of the ordinary. Some of them had their phone out, recording a short video of a woman sitting nearby. Everything seemed totally normal until something moved. In the background, through the glass panel on the door behind her, a shadow figure glided past, quick but undeniably human-shaped. It wasn't a reflection or it wasn't a glitch, it was just there. Naturally, the person holding the camera stopped recording and walked over to check it out. Maybe it was a coworker, maybe someone was just passing by, but when they opened the door, the room was completely empty. No one was inside, no footsteps, no sound, just stillness. Now, hospitals already carry a heavy atmosphere. The quiet, the low lights, the way emotions seem to hang in the air like fog. It's no wonder they're often considered magnets for the unexplained. So, was it a ghost? A residual spirit tied to the space? Or something else entirely? We may never know for sure, but the shadow figure, or whatever it was, definitely left more questions than answers. What do you think? Coincidence? Or something that wasn't supposed to be there? A group of friends decided to visit a cemetery late at night, already a bold move, but they weren't just there to explore. They came to film themselves performing a ritual. A candle was lit and carefully placed on the ground, and one of the girls sat quietly beside it while the others began to chant softly into the darkness. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but later when they watched the footage back, something chilling appeared just a few feet behind them. A figure in a white robe with long black hair moved silently across the frame. It didn't walk, it glided. No sound, no reaction from the group because no one saw it at that moment. The figure drifted by as if it belonged there or had been waiting. Naturally, panic set in once they saw it. Some people who have watched the clip think the ritual may have attracted a spirit, possibly someone buried there who was disturbed by the presence. Others claim it was all just a well-crafted hoax for views, but then again, if it was fake, why didn't anyone react on the spot? Why risk being that convincing in such a creepy setting? So the question remains, was it all staged, or did they unknowingly invite something ancient and unseen to step out of the shadows? You decide.
Weird things been happening around this time at night.
Can I record it?
You're on record. Everything's recording now. I can see the thing. It's like looking around weird.
Is it recording the video?
Yeah, right now it's on the video.
This clip was uploaded a while back and has somehow resurfaced again recently. In the clip, we hear a young man talking to his friend about a creature he'd recently captured that was demonic. According to him, he started recording because no one believed him and everyone thought he was crazy. As I listened and watched the clip, I got excited. The only thing I could only tell myself was this had to be legit. Trying not to post out of emotion, I did some reading around and boy was I disappointed. Turns out the whole thing was set up by the one recording and his friend. They were trying to go viral, and I must say that their plans did succeed, but not in the way they would have wanted. Many were so skeptical about the whole thing that they confessed and mentioned they staged the whole thing. Why would you do that to people who are trying to find the real deal as if it wasn't hard enough already?
I got it, everything. And and everything the whole thing right now, it's the iPad's recording everything. Me, you, and this thing. And I don't know, what's the police gonna think? It's looking, oh my god, dude, this thing is weird.
Do you have a favorite airport? If you do, I doubt it's the Denver airport. For some unknown reason, this airport appears to have many issues and is shrouded in mystery. This video does little to help. At first, it looked like an ordinary clip, but the one who recorded it stated he was there alone when the intercom came on. It didn't give the usual announcement, no. Instead, it said something along the lines of, "The Indian idiots recommended me scare you." At least that's what I believe I'm hearing. It's usually hard to tell what the intercoms are saying. Whatever the case, the one who uploaded it found the situation unsettling. Once he mentioned it was recorded at the Denver airport, everyone jumped on it. You might be wondering why, and the answer is simple. Many suspect that the airport was built by the Illuminati and that some of them live there. There are also some who believe that the lizard people have their headquarters there. The rumors have been so consistent that management at the Denver airport has banners and flyers around acknowledging they live there and all. Think of it as a humorous response to the whole thing. Or is it? How is this even possible? An anonymous user shared this video that's been blowing people's minds, and yes, that's a fish in an aquarium with a massive chunk bitten right out of its back. But here's the wild part, it's still alive and swimming around like nothing happened. Naturally, the internet went into full meltdown mode, the people calling it a zombie fish and questioning if the video was even real. But don't worry, this isn't the start of some underwater horror movie. The truth is that most of the fish's vital organs are actually located in the lower part of their body. So in rare cases like this, if the spine and key systems aren't damaged, they can survive pretty intense injuries and even start to heal over time. It's honestly kind of amazing how resilient some animals can be, so no, this isn't a zombie fish, just nature being wild and kind of incredible. Here we go again, another strange sighting lighting up the sky, but this time it wasn't just an odd object drifting around, it was an entire group of glowing lights clustered together like they had a purpose. Someone happened to capture it on camera, and what makes it even more intriguing is the timing. It wasn't day and neither was it fully night. The sky had this strange in-between glow, and right on the horizon there was this bright orange light that looked totally out of place, like something was brewing up there. The footage has already stirred up a storm online. Folks in the paranormal community are saying this could be a cluster of UFOs flying information, moving together, maybe even observing us. The glow, the symmetry, the atmosphere, it all feels too calculated to be random. But of course, skeptics aren't buying it. They think it's probably just a bunch of drones, maybe a light show, or some kind of tech test. Still, even the skeptics admit the whole thing felt off. The timing, the color of the sky, the way the lights moved, it didn't look like your usual tech at play. So what do you think? A routine drone display or something that wasn't meant to be seen? What do we have here? This footage was captured back in 2021 in Kissimmee, Florida, and it's got people talking. In the clip, you can see a bird-shaped object gliding silently across the night sky with a bright light glowing from its center. It moved in complete silence, and as it flew, the lights behind it seemed to shift in color, shape, and size like LED lights. Now, some are saying this could have been just a drone, maybe something experimental or custom-built, but others believe this might be a legit UFO. We've seen documentation of oddly shaped objects in the sky, and most of them are all coined to be UFOs. This one looks very unique from what I see, but it could also be a UFO as people speculate. What do you think? The Matrix theory has been around for a long time now, and honestly, the so-called proof we see just keeps getting weirder by the day. With AI-generated videos flooding the internet, it's getting harder to tell what's real and what's something else entirely, and just take a look at this footage. Someone walks up to a modern building with glass walls. On the far side, there's what looks like a white painted brick design. But here's where it gets strange. As the camera pans closer to the edge of the glass, we get a side view of that wall. The brick design doesn't look solid anymore. It looks like a thin plastic-like material shaped to look like bricks, maybe even stuck onto something invisible. Almost like something meant to suggest a wall was there when it actually isn't. So what are we looking at here? Is it an illusion, or might it all be a simulation after all? Many are convinced it's AI because it's the simplest answer to these kinds of questions, but what if it's not? Just think about that. Some guys in Chicago stumbled across something that feels like it belongs in a movie, not real life. They were just walking along when they noticed a sewer cover sitting slightly off-center. Most people would have kept moving, but their curiosity got the better of them. They pried it open, probably expecting trash, maybe some runoff water, but what they found was something else entirely. Beneath the cover was a rusted, soaked metal staircase leading straight down into darkness, so naturally they followed it. The stairs twisted into a spiral, and the deeper they went, the less the city above felt real. Eventually, they merged into what looked like an old cave system hidden right beneath Chicago. The air was heavy, almost thick. The ground was covered in dust, and off to the side, half buried in the dirt, was an old rusted spade, just standing there like someone had stuck it in and walked away. But the detail that really sparked debate? Strange, faded markings on the walls and floors. Some said they looked like remnants of dynamite charges. Ever since, theories have been flying. Some say it's an old Prohibition-era smuggling tunnel, while others believe it's part of a long-forgotten military or government network. And then there are the wilder ones about secret societies, ancient structures, lost levels of the city no one's meant to find. Which of these theories are right? Well, the simple answer is we don't know, but whatever the case, it's clear that something strange is hidden beneath Chicago's streets. The question is, was this just an accidental discovery, or did they stumble onto a part of the city that was meant to stay buried? What do you think? Someone came across this creature one night, perched in a tree, and it completely threw them off. It was a massive, gigantic insect. It had transparent wings with a distinct, patent texture, and its thick legs and bulky body made it look even more intimidating. At first glance, it looked almost otherworldly. So what insect is this? Well, it's a Dobson fly. Dobson flies might not be well known, but they can grow to impressive sizes, some of them with wingspans reaching up to 5 inches. The males often have long, tusk-like mandibles, while the females have powerful jaws that can deliver a pretty sharp bite if threatened. Despite their intimidating appearance, they're not dangerous to humans. They're more of a creepy curiosity, one of those creatures that reminds you just how wild and strange nature can be. There are countless descriptions of skinwalkers reported all over the world, but there's one detail that seems to stay consistent across stories. They're pale, slender, and have an unsettling humanoid form. Take this image for example. A family had gone out camping one night in a remote area. They were seated around a bonfire, just enjoying the evening. The photo was snapped casually with nothing unusual at the time, but later when they looked at the image, they noticed this. Just before the tree line behind the family, there was something standing. It was a slender, pale creature upright on 2 legs. Its head was oddly shaped, bald, and smooth all over. It blended into the darkness, but its pale skin gave it away. The family had no idea what was there when the picture was taken. They only saw it afterwards, and that's what really shook them. People online quickly pointed out, with many saying it's exactly what's described in classic skinwalker encounters. Even those in the paranormal community agree that it fits the profile. So what do you think of it? At this point in time, we all know it's going to be hard to stop or slow down at the age of robots. It doesn't, however, mean everything is okay with the advancements. Take a good look at this one. We're now giving these robots human-like faces. I've no doubt that this will become so realistic that it would be hard to tell them apart with a human soon. Do we not see the danger in that, or am I just overreacting? Body doubles, assassinations, framing people, and what have you. It could be a mess soon. Maybe I'm just overreacting, but let's hope we don't mess up the bright future we have worked so hard to build. I really do hope I'm wrong. A couple was out for a drive one night in Florida when a woman suddenly noticed something strange in the sky. Hovering above them was a dark, pill-shaped object, completely still and silent. It didn't have the usual blinking lights of a plane, and it wasn't moving like a drone, just hanging there. At this point, with all the strange sightings, people have reported lately the first thing that comes to mind is a UFO. And really, well, what else could it be? Some have argued that it could be some kind of secret military tech or drone, but I'm not sure why I'm convinced. It's basically a rogue UFO making itself known in the skies. Anyway, what do you think? If you thought that was wild, take a look at this recently shared strange piece of footage they caught while driving through a desert-like area. The road was quiet, the skies mostly clear, until they noticed something unusual off in the distance. Floating high up in the sky was this dark, swirling column. It looked almost like a tornado, but something felt off about it. For one, it was pitch black, darker than the clouds around it, and more importantly, it wasn't touching the ground or behaving like a normal weather phenomenon. It just hovered there, twisting slowly in place. Has anyone seen a black tornado before? Because if not, then this raises some eyebrows. It wasn't shaped like smoke, didn't move like wind, and didn't look like any natural storm formation. So what was it? Some are saying it might be a portal, others think it's a camouflaged aircraft or even a UFO trying to mimic a natural phenomenon. And then, of course, there are the more paranormal theories like a sky entity or a dimensional rift. Whatever it was, it looked out of place and it left the person filming both fascinated and slightly freaked out. What do you think this strange black twister in the sky could really be? Before ghost hunting became a mainstream obsession on YouTube channels and reality shows, there was a man named Adam, and back in the 1990s, he was already documenting something terrifying in his home. The house was built over a cemetery, and as we all know, that's usually a recipe for disaster. Adam had been experiencing strange ghostly encounters for a while, so he decided to start filming them. And what he captured would become known as the Barnby Ghost. In one footage, the camera is pointing down a narrow hallway. There's a simple chair and a towel draped over a hanger on the wall. It's pretty normal, until it's not. Out of nowhere, a faint humanoid shadow appears. It looks like it sits down on the chair, lingers for a moment, and then fades back into the wall. But that wasn't the end. Moments later, another figure appears, and this time it's taller. It walks about, stops, and disappears again. At one point, the figure even seems to walk toward the camera, almost like it knew it was being watched. Adam and his brother were filming when this all happened, and from what they saw that night, they were convinced that there wasn't just one ghost in that house, but multiple entities coming and going as they pleased. Someone stumbled across this on a dark web, and it's beyond disturbing. It was a sealed jar containing what looked like strange squirming parasites, and it was up for sale for $2,500. However, the listing claimed that this parasite is designed to enter the human body through the nose, then slowly make its way to wrap around the brain and spinal cord. According to the seller, once it's in place, the host can continue living normally as long as the parasite is left undisturbed. But if something goes wrong, like the parasite is removed, it can kill you instantly. What kind of madness is being sold online for thousands of dollars, and who's buying this stuff? Here's one that'll give you chills. This photograph was taken by a paranormal investigator during a late-night tour of the notorious Newsham Park Asylum, a place already steeped in dark history and eerie tales. After the tour wrapped, the group gathered for a casual group photograph, just something to mark the experience. At first glance, everything looked normal, just a bunch of people standing around, tired but buzzing from the thrill. But when they looked at the photograph later, they saw her. In the back, barely noticeable at first, is the pale face of a woman. She's smiling almost too much. Her hair is wild, black, and tangled. She's dressed in dark clothes, standing just behind the others. But here's the thing, no one in the group remembered anyone like that being there. And when you look closer, she doesn't quite blend in. She's slightly out of focus, almost faded around the edges, like she doesn't belong in the same reality as everyone else. When the photo was shown to the group, every single person confirmed that she wasn't with them. So who was she? Some think it's one of the many spirits rumored to still walk the halls of the asylum. Others think it's just a trick of the eye or maybe just a prank. But if that's the case, why does a presence feel so wrong? Take a look and decide for yourself. Coincidence, camera glitch, or something that never truly left. A security camera in India recently captured what many are calling a real-life hero moment. A schoolboy was walking home through a flooded street after heavy rains. The water was everywhere, covering the road like a shallow river. As he waded through a puddle, he fell backwards into the water and began convulsing. It looked like he'd been electrocuted, possibly from a submerged live wire. Just then, a man riding by on a motorbike noticed what was happening, and without hesitation, he stopped, got off his bike, and made his way to help the boy. But he didn't just rush into the water blindly. Instead, he approached from the side, stepping carefully onto a dry patch of ground, using the dry, solid earth to ground himself. He managed to pull the boy out of the water without being electrocuted. That was a smart move that saved both their lives. He then carried the boy out and began helping him regain consciousness as more people rushed in to assist. This wasn't just a rescue, it was quick thinking, bravery, and a perfect example of how staying calm in a crisis can save a life.